listening to the MotoXpod.
Save me from myself. My arms and legs are bound like an aging corpse from another world. I'll scream the truth 6 feet underground. Feel alive inside yourself. Watch your enemies dispel. If I could find a way to avoid this fate.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Vital MX MotoXpod show, presented by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. Little bit of an updated intro through a couple different drops in there. We've changed it up just a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, just something to refresh it a little bit. But hey, we're excited to be here for episode 352. And we've got a great guest lineup. We're going to talk to the Senior Director of Operations for Super Motocross, Mike Muye. We've got Yamaha Star Racing's Pierce Brown and Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha's Devin Simonson all lined up for the show tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk to those guys. Pierce has been recovering from that broken back. Devin just got back to racing this last weekend in East Rutherford. And I reached out to Fell to get Mike Muye on, thanks to Sean Brennan for that, because of our discussion recently about the scheduling of going from stadium to stadium, how that works, why they choose to do it, and Mike's the guy to get those questions answered from. So he's going to jump on for a little bit during the Yamaha Motor USA Open Chat. Lots to talk about. East Rutherford just finished up. Chase Sexton with a dominant win. Then Seth Hammaker gets his win and extends his points lead by actually sole points leader now. So plenty to talk about. Before we get into everything, in studio, as always, ever reliable, Scotty Thompson. What's up, man?
As always, just starting to know if I'm here because I'm good at it or just because I show up.
You show up, bro. Just because you show up. No, I appreciate you being here, and yeah, I think the show. Yeah, you're an asset to the show, unlike the other two guys. No, but it was on me. Their liabilities. It was a little bit on me because I had asked TJ if he was going to be in, and he thought his oil field job was ending. They were going to release him, and he would be here. And I took that as he's going to be here, and it's actually still wrapping up. I think today's the last day, so he couldn't quite make it. So it's on me. I should have double checked on that, but no worries. It's gonna be a lot of fun tonight. Like I said, you and I will kick some ass, get this thing going. Before we get into the meat of the show, there's a couple tough discussions, whatever we want to just bring up. I know most everybody knows about Jerry Robin and his injury. Shattered his T7, and they fused 6 of his vertebrae. As far as I know, latest update, still no feeling. I think below the belly button. It's very gut-wrenching, very sad. Jerry's a really good dude. Seems like everybody loves Jerry. He's got a long, tough road ahead of him. We know this. You know, Matt Byton last year, we talked to him when he got paralyzed at Thunder Valley. Mm-hmm. It's just a sad reality of the sport because it's so dangerous, and you really never know. Road to Recovery has some stuff going on for Jerry Robbins. You can go to Road to Recovery and find out about that. Vital MX, Michael Lindsay has put together a little auction he's working on. You can go to vitalmx.com and find out the information on that. And I believe if you go to Justin Starling's Instagram, he's also working on some stuff, some auction stuff. So there's a lot of different ways out there that we can kind of help out Jerry, man. He's, like I said, it's going to be a very hard financial hit being in the hospital the way he is. So we want to do everything we can to support our racing brothers. And yeah, just our thoughts and prayers and everything go out to the family. Also, another sad, I don't know if sad's the right word, but Kaya Reed, which is Chad Reed's daughter, also suffered a back injury, not anywhere near severe, but she had surgery, I believe, Monday she had some compression fractures in her T6 through T7, and they put some hardware in her back, and she's young. I don't know, 12, 13? I don't even know. I just got to visit with her and the family when I was out there at club a couple weekends ago, and yeah, it's just super, super stressful, I guess, or just scary. It's rough, right, Scotty? I mean, we don't want to see anybody injured, but these are some scary injuries.
Yeah, like you said, it's a harsh reality of the sport, and like I tell people that don't ride, it's like, and it kind of sounds insane when you say it like this. It's like I have to accept the fact that every time I swing my leg over the bike, that I am potentially putting myself in a chance to either be paralyzed or die or be severely hurt or brain damaged. Like you don't think about that stuff when you're riding, but you have to, when you throw on that helmet and swing the leg over, you have to almost acknowledge the fact that it can happen.
Sure.
It's a scary thing that we do, but it's part of it.
It can happen driving when you drive home tonight, right?
That's true, but I feel like it is a little bit of a...
It's a higher risk sport, I guess.
And you're... Like, you got to drive to work. Like, that's more of a form of survival. Okay. I feel like you're putting yourself in this situation a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I see what you're saying, but it's just part of it.
It is. So thoughts and prayers to the healing of Kaya and Jerry. And we're still, right, hoping that once some of the swelling goes down and maybe I don't know if Jerry's had all the surgeries. I know he was having a second surgery, I think Monday night. Maybe it was Sunday night. But, there's still some hope that he could get some feeling back. So, whatever you believe in, whatever way you want to send your best wishes, let's hope for the best for Jerry. Thoughts and love going out to him. On the opposite note, on a very high, lots of joy and excitement, Alex Ray and his wife, Samantha, just had their baby. Welcome to the world, Atlas Ray. That's pretty great. I'm really happy for them. A-Ray he's a daddy, man. Sketchy.
Yeah. That's sketchy.
Already into some of the group chats been talking about the unexpected when you're a new parent, tar-like doo-doos that babies make. And yeah, he's already experiencing a lot of the stuff. I think the baby was snipped today, so that was an experience.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm supposed to put all that out there.
Joke about
but
that.
hey, A-Ray. Congratulations, Samantha. Love you guys. Congrats. Okay.
Also, real quick,
what we got
from Nocturnal Heroes $9.99. Keep being you, Jamie. ... Your work doesn't go unnoticed.
That's right, Nocturnal. By the way, speaking of our YouTube chat, if you were in the group of making fun of my hair last week, F you.
Don't. Yeah.
No, it's fine.
You didn't really fix it today either, so we're just gonna open that can of worms.
Hey, Scotty,
back
why don't
up.
you take your hat off?
No, hey, whoa,
Okay.
whoa. I wasn't making fun of your hair. I was just saying
I look
that
good.
No,
it's fine.
I was just letting you know. It
I
is
don't
kind
really
of
care.
it is kind of doing the same thing.
And if you're on
last week,
well,
but,
you know what?
No, that's actually better.
Show's over. Like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're watching that way, we appreciate you. Okay. Yamaha Motor USA Open Chat, a reputation for dominance. It doesn't happen overnight, guys. It's built over decades. You know the YZ stories, over 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha took the championship-winning bikes and made them even better because the best don't rest. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com or go to your local dealership and check out all that Yamaha has to offer. What's that smile about, man?
They're calling you because of the Karen haircut.
Karen?
You know how like they have like the bangs.
Get
and
off
then
my
the,
lawn. Yeah, I know what you mean. Is that what my hair looks like right now?
I guess that's what they
You're
were
going to make me
going.
like slide over here and grab a hat?
I didn't do anything, man. I'm just telling you what the people said.
Well, the people could suck it.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Let's do what we've done for weeks in and weeks out now. Chase Sexton, Cooper Webb, our 450 title contenders. That ride by Chase was fantastic. It was amazing. It was impressive. He is doing what he has to do, and he straight up kicked Cooper's ass.
Most dominant wins since ...
You're asking me since when? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not
since
good
since he came from last to first to
from
Hangtown?
Chase.
Or no, just the last dominant ride that we've seen like that. I mean, when's the last time somebody in Supercross won by plus 15 seconds? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. 3 to go. He has to win out if Cooper finishes second, right? If nobody else gets in there.
Right.
We already know that I have said Justin Cooper's going to win Salt Lake, so that could throw a wrench in it.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, which I won't be, but if I am.
Yeah, just like your 2024, 23 champion of Supercross is Dylan Ferrari.
Listen, we're in 2025.
Okay.
Does Chase win out and win this title?
Can I answer your question with a question?
Yes. Just keep in mind we have Mike Muye
I
in
know.
5 minutes. So we're not going to get to everything we want to early, but that's okay.
So does him, if he won that race like he did East Rutherford, or this was Chase. Yeah.
Chase was, last weekend was East Rutherford.
Okay. If he had won like that, where he beat Coop by like 3 or 4 seconds, would that change if he hadn't won by after this week? If he hadn't won by 16 plus,
so you're saying if the gap was closer this last weekend,
does the gap being bigger make you more inclined to say that Chase can pull this off?
No, because I think the circumstances with the double whoops really, really hurt Coop. So no, I think this was, I think that gap was because of a particular section on the track that just really hurt Coop overall. So no, it doesn't make that much of a difference like going forward for me. Now, if he does it again this weekend, then I'll be like, oh shit.
Well, then there's only 2 left.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm saying if he beats him by such a massive gap, then I'm going to be like, oh boy. I don't know if you had that question up that we have there for the 450 question, but right now, who is your pick for this title?
Man, I mean, I hate to keep going back to the same. My theory seems to keep playing out. That I keep talking about how whether it's in races or in the championship, when Chase has a nice, comfortable lead, whether it's in points or a race, that's when he makes the mental mistakes. Mm-hmm. Other than a couple of times he got just kind of straight up beat by Coop, since he's been in the point deficit, he hasn't really made mistakes.
No, he hasn't.
He's gotten beat. I mean, that's fair. Like, you're going to get straight up beat sometimes, but he hasn't made the mistakes. So now that he seems to have got very comfortable on the bike, like he was blitzing those whoops like nobody else was. I know that the whoops were a big part of it. We are going to drier tracks where that's kind of where his forte is.
This weekend right now is rain anticipated.
Well, this will be the big one.
Yeah.
But he's just on. I think he's the most capable of winning 4 to 5 in a row. I don't think it's hard to say that he will, but I mean it's
okay. So, but I just want you to go out on just who wins the title.
I think Coop still does.
Okay,
but it's starting to get way more serious than I was expecting it to be.
I'm gonna agree with you right now. I think it's gonna be very difficult to win 5 in a row. Because you already won 2. There's 3 left.
It's been done.
Sure it has, but I just don't think it happens.
Yeah.
So now that could mean again Salt Lake City Justin Cooper wins. But if Chase beats him and gets second, Cooper gets 3rd or 4th. So those scenarios could play out different ways. But right now, I'm sticking with Cooper Webb as my title, my champion. But it's definitely getting hairy. At
what point does Cooper Webb start throwing risk to the side and not being like, I can't. Once
I'm not going to loses the points lead, which he won't probably.
Right. So, but I mean. Well, I guess the answer would be Salt Lake then, right?
Yeah,
because
if it's down to if Chase wins out until Salt Lake, right? Mm-hmm. So if he wins the next 2 and Cooper finishes second in the next 2, then you got to throw caution to the wind. You have to win. Cooper has to win at that point, or has to at least beat Chase.
If we do get to that point, I'm picking Chase.
Okay. Well, we'll see where. Yeah, we got a couple weeks to talk about.
Because then if it comes down to winner takes all, then you have to kind of go with the guy that's shown the more raw speed.
Okay, so we got to get Mike Muye on in less than a minute. I also want to get into a situation that happened in 450 qualifying session 2 where I got a text and 2 emails about the situation where with about 3 minutes left in that session, Chase was behind Coop. Chase was on a fast lap. Coop was on a roll lap. And some would say that Cooper might have drifted over and got in the way of Chase. I want to discuss that, but we got to get Mike on. So I'm hitting call right now for him. So let's work on getting him on.
He'll probably have a pretty good take on it,
too. Yeah, he's on the line right now. So, our first guest of the night is going to be brought to you by Yamaha Motor USA, a reputation for dominance. It doesn't happen overnight. Visit YamahaMotorsports.com to check out all Yamaha has to offer. Tonight, Yamaha brings us the Senior Director of Operations for Super Motocross, Mr. Mike Muye. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Jamie, how are you?
We are good. Myself and Scotty Thompson in studio tonight, and our other co-host TJ's not here, but a couple weeks ago, really specifically between Indiana and Seattle during that time period, we were talking about the schedule, and we had a lot of questions because we really don't know the ins and outs, and you're the guy to go to for that. So I kind of want to start with, how far in advance do you guys start trying to lock in stadiums for 26, 27?
We're deep into 26 right now. I actually just came from a call a couple days ago, starting to really hone in and finalize some of the plans. But we're also at the same time talking 27, 28, and what that will look like. So we're looking a few years out. But really, as we start getting closer, this time frame is when we start locking in the venues and finalizing things.
Okay, so when you're working on locking in dates, let's say mostly mid-season, right? I mean, generally we're going to start at Anaheim unless something crazy happens, be on the West Coast. But once we start going east, west, east, back and forth, what factors play into where we're going to go? And I'll tell you why this kind of came up. The schedule this year was Indianapolis, off, Birmingham, then haul butt across the country, basically to Seattle. And TJ was like, man, if they had gone Indiana, Birmingham off, then the privateers and your trucks for Feld would have almost 2 weeks to make that trek. But I know that you guys put thought into this, so I kind of want to understand what factors go into those type of considerations.
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors. Specifically when you're talking about like these Eastern venues, this time of year when baseball's kicked up, you got to pay attention to the baseball schedule. So oftentimes we'll have to wait and coordinate around that because a lot of them, Philly, for example, Pittsburgh this weekend, they share parking lots. We take up a pretty large footprint, over 500,000 square feet with the Fan Fest. So you can't have a game in a parking lot that's being utilized for another event. The venues themselves have concerts booked, and NFL draft, for example. So that dictates some of when we can play a specific venue. In your reference to the trek out to Seattle and back, we did have an option to go, I believe it was from Foxborough. No, I'm sorry. It was Philly out to Seattle, Denver, then do Pittsburgh, then East Rutherford, and then they were going to have to track back out to Salt Lake City.
Okay.
When you add up all of those miles, it actually came out to close to 500 miles more in doing that. And it took away what they've seen this past, few weeks, in that you only have a couple-hour jaunt between each of the different cities over a weekend. So we did talk with the team, said, hey, this is kind of what we're faced with. This is what we're looking at. What's your feedback? And explain the mileage thing. And overwhelmingly, everybody felt, it was better to just kind of rip the Band-Aid, go, come back, and then it gives us the opportunity now. We go Pittsburgh, a stop in Denver, and then Salt Lake City. So we weigh a lot of different factors. Venue availability is probably first and foremost, I would say. And then, of course, looking at the different patterns or the different logistics patterns.
Okay.
Mike, at what point in the criteria list does ultimately, you can't predict it, but weather is always a thing that we have to fight in this sport. At what point does climate/location geographically come into a factor when choosing these venues?
As you can see, we try to heavily weight the back end of the schedule, specifically with the Northeast rounds. That's when the weather starts to break. The alternative option is we wouldn't be able to play some of these markets just because of the time frame that we have to race Supercross. So, that's really, we only have about 5-6 weeks that we could play in the Northeast, and trying to mix it around within that time frame, it becomes a little bit challenging. But that, I don't think that it weighs heavily whether we go to East Rutherford April 12th or to Foxborough April 12th, generally speaking, it's about the same,
Yeah.
And then, heading back towards Denver, their weather patterns are generally similar. So that one really comes down to as much about the weather as it does about the routing.
And you hear a lot from some of the writers or the fans, like, why do we go to open air stadiums? And I don't know if people realize there aren't that many domed stadiums, but there are a couple like Houston, New Orleans, St. Louis that we really haven't utilized in a few years. I know St. Louis is part of Super Motocross this year. I don't really understand why Houston kind of hasn't been used. Is it because of low turnout, or are there other factors?
So Houston is a tough year over year. So we've always tried to, play a year, back a year, play a year, back a year. We have taken a couple off. If you remember around COVID, we had a couple in a row.
Oh yeah.
Started
there, I think. I think we started the season there. Yeah,
we did. Yep. We did the 3 rounds. What would that be? Like 21.
Yep.
We did the 3 rounds there. So, and then, as far as St. Louis, kind of the same thing. If you oversaturate the market, it's a little bit, year over year, you'll start to see a decline. So, we try to keep it fresh. And the other thing is, we need those dates in order to be able to move around. It's been no secret that our goal is to continue to grow the sport. And by growing it, it's offering it live in these different markets. So Pittsburgh being a new one, we have Pittsburgh, obviously Philly, doing the Philly, East Rutherford, Foxborough trio. Those are dates that we needed to attempt to be in some different markets. And, we can't predict the weather. Obviously, we do the best that we can with what we have to work with. But, the end goal is always to try and, give the experience of Supercross in new markets.
Yeah, and I hear Pittsburgh is selling really well. The people I know in that area are very excited.
Yeah. I think it's been a long time coming. It's a strong market. I'm actually from the general area, so always had a feeling that it was going to go up. Detroit's always done well. Indy's always done well, and Pittsburgh's definitely no slouch either. And the venue there has been fantastic to work with. They've come out to a few events now, checked it out, learned from the inside out, and it'll make a big difference in the overall experience for everybody.
Nice.
Hey, Mike, what's something that you kind of deal with on a daily basis that as fans or media or even the riders would be surprised at, or just wouldn't understand, or don't know about?
Oof, that's a tough one. I mean, that's probably what I love the most about my job. Is it's always something different, right? Like, you don't know what you're heading into. You might have a schedule, but don't plan on that schedule in the morning.
Right.
And so I think that's probably, at one point I might be having a conversation with our ops team and Dirtworks, and the next we're talking with the marketing department. Kind of the glue that holds everything together. We work closely with the AMA, our partners at MX Sports. So, it's a little bit of everything. It's hard to pinpoint to just one factor. Obviously, when we're heading into a market like this weekend, we're monitoring the weather closely. So there's a lot more conversation around what that looks like. What are our potential plans? Our team has 4 or 5 different formats based on what the weather does that we can enact when the time comes. And, it's almost hourly check-ins as we start drawing closer to race day on, what's going to make the most sense. Where can we maximize coverage of the track, meaning, leaving the plastic on it as long as possible. And it's a whole team of people that's constantly communicating on those things. So, yeah, it's hard to pinpoint to just one thing.
So basically, you just keep a couple fire extinguishers in the truck and just kind of ready to go.
Yeah, essentially, yes. A firefighter of sorts.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. That's cool though. It's so many moving parts, and it's just constantly adapting to them. There's no, like, you could have a brilliant plan, and then 5 minutes into your day, it's just something changes, and that's completely blown out. So you have to be very fluid.
Yeah, exactly. And because we're heading into Pittsburgh this weekend, It is a new venue. And while, as I mentioned, the team there has done a fantastic job learning the sport, the intricacies and all of those things, it's still a new venue. And there's still hundreds of their staff members that have never seen this before. So it's really trying to prep the venues on what to expect, because, when they have a football game, I don't know how many of us have ever been in the backstage of a football game, but the likelihood is very few, because that's what they're used to, When you bring Supercross to town, it's the polar opposite. You have thousands of people, goggle guys, gear guys, the media, ourselves, that are all moving in and out from their back of house areas, their tunnels and, their lower concourses and all of those things. So it's shocking to them, right? And I'm sure you've experienced security guards. Hey, you can't go here. Well, yes, I can.
Yes.
No, you can't. So it's trying to prep them for that. But until they see it, there's not a good way to. Right. So, on event day and drawing up to event day, it's a lot of that kind of coaching stuff. Hey, this is the credential board. This is who can go here. This is why they can go here. Those types of things.
A few more questions for you, Mike. When it comes to choosing venues and locations, obviously it's still a business, so cost effectiveness is a factor, whether you can double up with Monster Jam. And then lately, over the last few years, we've seen a few more speedway races here and there. What kind of, how important are those factors? Like Atlanta, right? If we're going to go back to Atlanta, it's probably going to be the speedway, because they don't want us in that stadium. It's a very expensive stadium. So how important is cost versus ticket sales? Like, okay, it may cost more, but we're going to get more people.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, right? It's still a business at the end of the day. So we have great relationships with most every venue in the nation. So, it is a balancing act, right? We want to grow the sport. We understand sometimes when we go to a new market, it may not be robust, but we can make a conscious decision on going to that market in hopes of building it, right? So that's another factor that's kind of weighed in. We know that this is the venue deal. This is what it's going to cost to play there. This is what the routing is going to look like. We'll take all of that into account. We'll utilize the data that we have available to us from Ticketmaster and other resources, and make an educated and calculated decision, not just on the first year play, but on multiple year plays. So that, we can continue to grow markets rather than just, hey, we're here this year, might not ever see us again.
Yeah.
That's no way to grow, in our opinion.
Okay. So you mentioned you're already working on next year's schedule. I know you're not going to give probably anything away.
I just listed it out, Mike. No big deal.
Will we be back in Nashville in 26? Is the stadium going to be ready? Are we good to go?
No, the new stadium is 27.
27. Okay.
So they'll be complete in 27. I just literally saw some renderings right before this call, and it's pretty impressive. They got over 70,000 square feet of LED board space.
Wow.
A lot of cool club areas. And so, we're hoping to get in there. We always love to play in the newer stadiums just because the amenities, the infrastructure is amazing. And that one looks pretty cool.
I'm excited. That's my city to go to. That's my favorite race of the year when we go there. I still would like to see. I feel like that's the place for the finals to be. If it's not going to be Vegas, I know why we go to Salt Lake City, but man, Nashville is my town.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. I just think the setting alone is cool.
Yeah.
I thought the old stadium was pretty good too. With the end zones and like the old Western look, and the tunnel was a little bit wonky and some of the pitting, but overall, I enjoyed going there. It's just that last year was a little bit challenging trying to fit into a lot because of the construction. And that's why, we've opted to take some time off. Sure. Because, at the end of the day, we want to give the same experience, whether we're in Angel Stadium in California or Nissan Stadium in Nashville. Everybody deserves the same experience. And that just wasn't the experience that we were after.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Last question I have for you. Is there a venue that you would like to go to that we haven't been to yet? I think obviously Vegas, the new stadium in Vegas would probably be one of them, but is there one or two that stand out to you?
I mean, yeah, the new stadium in Vegas is definitely appealing. SoFi is, out in LA is really cool. I had the opportunity to work on the events in Dodger Stadium as well as the Coliseum. Coliseum, because of the history, as you can imagine, was pretty special. I thought that was probably a highlight of my career. This weekend has been number one on my list forever. I mean, like I said, I'm from the area, so I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to find a new number one after this weekend. See what our options are.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you're going to get to experience that. I won't be there this weekend, but I'm glad that's cool. My son's a big Steelers fan. They're my second favorite team, so I've never been to Pittsburgh. I'd like to be going, but I'm glad you're going to get to enjoy it. Yeah.
No, it'll be cool. Just a lot of history there,
Absolutely. Steeler Nation, man. It's going to be the terrible towels need to be out this weekend.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping to be able to have SMX towels. It wasn't in the cards for this year, but how cool would it be to hand out some, high vis yellow and purple towels for everybody to spin around?
That would be cool. Mike, man, we really appreciate you coming on here and answering our questions. It informs us a lot, and our listeners have a better idea how it all works. And I know you're a busy guy, so thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for the curiosity. Thanks for the time. And I look forward to talking some more.
Sounds good, man. You have a good weekend and I'll see you in Denver.
All right. Take care.
All right. You too. See ya. That's Senior Director of Operations for Super Motocross, Mike Muye, brought to you by Yamaha tonight. I feel like you got some information. I don't know. TJ's not on the phone.
I mean, I wasn't really ever butthurt by it.
No, I wasn't talking about being butthurt, but it's butthurt. But at least it kind of like we have a little bit better idea of which, again, there were some other questions that we didn't get to necessarily, but I knew there was they weren't just like, there's privateers. There's a reason, right?
There's way too many. Like I said, I was asking him, there's so many moving parts that it's just constantly be a fluid thing. The one thing that he did say that just kind of that I had never thought about was having to kind of almost train the staff.
Yeah.
For each venue, they've never really seen this before. Obviously, your Arlington and stuff are probably used to it by now because we do it every year for so long, and there's other places that go every year. But these ones where they switch off every year to the infrastructure of the stadium isn't used to, like he said, having that many people. That was kind of eye-opening for me. I never really thought about that. Yeah, I bet that is kind of a shock for those people to have such a different style of event.
Yeah, I mean,
riders are constantly in and out of the tunnel, riding dirt bikes through the pits, and we're using their parking lot, and there's freestyle shows going on. It's a lot.
Yeah, every time we go to a stadium, the security and the people working there, that credential doesn't get you here, and there's always an issue. Our next guest will probably know about that. But we're going to get him on here in just a second. He's brought to you tonight by Racetech, which is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company. And they have over 40 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. Racetech Gold Valves provided plush feel with drastically improved bottoming resistance and increased traction, which we all want. All Racetech products are 100% guaranteed and made in the USA. Tonight, Racetech brings us from Monster Energy, Yamaha Star Racing, Pierce Brown. What's up, Pierce?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
It's going good, man. Good to hear from you. You sound like you're in pretty good spirits right now. I like that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's good to talk to you guys. I've been missing you guys at the races.
Yeah. So for those that don't remember, you had a fracture in your back, right? Was it T?
It was a T5.
Okay.
My compression fractured the T5. They had to go in and cage it. I was fully displaced. So, that was not ideal, but we're on the mend now. Doing good.
Where are you at in recovery? I don't know what the time frame on this is. How far along are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty new to it too. Obviously, I wasn't sure what to expect coming into this, but I'm doing good. I'd say, to be honest, I have a doctor's appointment this Thursday to run some more x-rays and scans to make sure that the back's fully healed. But I'd say I'm 90% healed. It's been about like 10, 11 weeks since the crash. So back's good by now. I lost a lot of like muscle and strength in the hospital. I was there for like 3 weeks. So yeah, that was brutal for sure. But we've been doing PT. I've been able to cycle with guys at the farm. So just being around like the guys and like the atmosphere itself, it's been cool because like, dude, I don't know, like I enjoyed this off season so much. Like as much as I was looking forward to the season, like it was just fun to finally see this program like firsthand and be in it with the guys. So I was hopeful coming into the year. Started off good, but obviously, it was an unfortunate event. But no, we're on the mend now. I'd say we're 99% healed. Once I get this, get the go that everything's healed up, I'm gonna go and get my metal out before I even touch a bike. So if I can, if I have to ride with the metal in, I will, but everyone I've talked to has said it's probably smart that I get it out. So that's the plan now. Moving forward, I'd say earliest I could be on a bike, I don't know, then maybe the next month or so, best case. But we'll see. I mean, I'm just taking it slow. This was a scary one for me. So, I'm doing better, spirits are better, but it's been a tough couple months for sure.
Yeah, and I want to get back to you switching teams and that discussion, but sticking with the topic that we're on right now. Yeah, especially in light of what happened this past weekend, we see where Jerry Robin is, unfortunately, and with the crash that Austin Faulkner had a year ago that could have ended that with any of these guys, right? Anybody that gets on their bike knows this is a possibility, but then when it happens, it's just super scary. And even I was saying at the beginning of the show, Chad Reed's daughter, Kaya Reed, has some compression fractures in her back as of last weekend. I think they fused like 5 or 6 of them, her vertebrae. And it's just like, it seems like it's happening a lot this year. So super.
It seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what that is. I don't think there's anything different. It's just probably just freak timing or whatever. But I want to go back to, so with the injury was, I think, early February. I believe you made the announcement of the injury on the 10th. I don't remember what the actual date of the race was, but how long post accident were you up, and how long before first PT and kind of trying to start rebuilding?
So after my original operation, the race was on the 8th. I had surgery on the 9th, I believe, that Sunday morning. And in the first surgery, I was in the hospital for probably I would say 4 or 5 days afterwards. I went home, started, I obviously couldn't start PT. The back wasn't stable yet, but I was just trying to get used to everyday life again. And then I caught an infection from that original surgery. So I had to go back in and have another operation. They cleaned it all out. And they had me at the hospital for another, I'd say, week and a half for that. So I was in a hospital bed, didn't get out of it for about a week and a half. And dude, leaving the hospital, I could barely walk. It was scary. My legs and everything, I was dangerously skinny, and it was eye-opening for me. So I don't know, just going through that, it was pretty tough. And dude, I feel for Jerry. It's a tough injury and tough sport, because I remember his Instagram post the other day. I can't believe this crash could potentially be life altering. And that's how I felt. I had a little mishap in the whoops, just caught a tough block, and had those tough blocks not been there, if it was a practice day, I would have been fine to jump off the track, but that's not how it goes at the races. But yeah, the way I landed, it wasn't a brutal crash. It was just for lack of other words, it was just a perfect hit, for the spine and the vertebrae to break, that's that was pretty gnarly. But yeah, I was laid out for probably like 3 weeks before I could even do anything. And by the time I got back to like PT and everything, I was already so far behind from being not under, but going back under, that second time. Yeah, so it took me it was that next month trying to play catch up. But yeah, we're doing good now. Good. And dude, I forgot this was the most traumatic part, but I had a pick line in for that or from that infection. I had to run antibiotics through this pick line like 3 times a day, like morning, lunch, and dinner. And that was for 6 weeks. So that was fucking brutal, dude. Like I was ready to get that out. But ever since it's been out, I've been cycling, back in the gym, doing pretty good. So it's could have been a lot worse. I'm thankful for that. But we're doing good.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, Pierce, this is a little bit of a glass half full or empty kind of question. When, obviously you had to get through those first couple of weeks, like you mentioned, 3 weeks in the hospital, to kind of make sure that, check yourself a little bit, make sure that everything's going to be somewhat normal. And then once you kind of start accepting the fact that I have this injury and I can start working with it and doing things, do you look back on the injury does it take any more sting out of it, the fact that you were winning and having a very good ride, or that you were at that speed? Or would it have been, like if you had been riding slower or not been getting the results that you wanted and then got this injury, would have been like, oh man, I've already not been doing good, and then this on top of it? Which way does it kind of lean for you?
Yeah, it was definitely more of a glass half full than half empty. Like I put myself in that position. Like that was one thing I worked all off season on, just getting the starts and getting myself in the fight early. And I did that in the heat and then in the main. Like both starts were textbook for me. Like I was stoked with how I put myself in those positions, crashed or not. Like it was leading up to a really good night. But yeah, I mean, had I been struggling, say I was mid-pack and then that happened, I mean, that would have been even tougher to get back going and back on the bike through like recovery and everything like that, just because, I mean, shit, now I know like I was at that level, like I put in the work. So I deserve to be up there. I just need to get myself back to that level for this next season. So yeah, like you said, it was more of a glass half full than half empty. Yeah. Obviously, it wasn't an ideal crash, but I'm trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's been a long road, but dude, you see it time to time in this sport. It's brutal. I mean, it can bite you at the times you least expect it, and there's really nothing you can do about it, than just take your lick and move on.
Absolutely. That conversation is a good transition into your move to Monster Energy Yamaha from Troy Lee Designs. That was a move I talked to you, I think we're around the time the announcement was made, and you had told me that you had multiple opportunities where Bobby Reagan had come to you over your career of giving you an opportunity, and you kind of turned it down. This time you're like, I can't turn it down again. This may be the last one. So you make that transition. You're at the Go Farm. You're training. You're doing all your off-season stuff. Where were you confidence-wise coming into the first round?
Oh, confidence-wise, I was coming in to win. Like, I thought, like everybody else, I thought this was my year. Mm-hmm. So I was coming in pretty confident. Like, every day at the test track, like, it was me and Max, like, going at it. He would get the better of me some days. I get better of him other days. And it was fun, dude, like, because we would go back and forth, and we got to see Jay Coop, and we were riding with Hayden towards the end of off season. Like it was fun, dude, riding with some fast guys and seeing the improvements every single day. Like I was truthfully in winning shape, and that was the first time I'd say I was as put together as I was in my career. So coming in, I was stoked. I mean, it was leading up to a really good season. Like I said, I just really, most of all, just want to get myself back to that level. Because I'm sure Max is saying the same thing, but had we had not crashed, I'd say this was our season to go back and forth. I would put money on it, you know?
Yeah, we talked preseason, and you were definitely one of the guys I was most excited to see what you had, because I know I've told you face-to-face before, like, I don't feel your results have ever matched your ability or your capabilities because of different reasons, right? You've missed time and different things have happened, and I had high hopes for this season. And I still have high hopes for your career. I think you're not done yet, obviously. We'll get back. I want to go back to preseason stuff and training there. How was it different from training on the West Coast and things you've done before? I mean, you kind of mentioned having all the guys there. That's probably a big part of it. But what was different about training with Star?
It was a mix of a lot of things. Just having all the guys with you every single day, dude. I mean, everyone knows we have a full gate drop of riders, you know, like we get the tracks pretty rough every single day. And like at the end of the day, it's pretty close to like a race day track, you know, like we have to shoot up, cut corners are rutted. You have to cut down. And that was something I've always like struggled with, I'd say, in past years. Like once the main event comes around, like I was a little hesitant, like where to go, like first lap. Like you have to make moves so quick. And like, if you don't put yourself in that like position, it's just catch up from there. Like it's hard to come back from like a 5th place, 6th place with how deep the class is right now. But yeah, that was the biggest thing for me, just riding with good guys. The dirt out here is unreal. Like you could get a lot more out of the track than I'd say a Corona test track. Mm-hmm. And for me, I was on the East Coast, so it only made sense just to go that route. I've been riding good. I was honestly like pretty set on West Coast all off season. Then they switched me and Hayden last minute, and they were gonna separate us from me and Max, separate him from us. So yeah, it's had me stuck with Max. I was like, dude, this is gonna be tough, because at the test tracks, dude, Max was riding really good. So he was one that I was like, yeah, it's gonna be him to beat, you know.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun. Like I said, just riding with those guys and stacking that experience. Like felt like round 1 came around and I'd already raced like 52 weekends just from all the days of test track that we done.
Yeah, that's what we hear. It's always a competition at the goat farm.
Yeah, no, but it's only making it better or making all of us better, you know. So
nice.
It's just a fun thing to be a part of. Like it's different. I've only ridden for one other team, and that's TLD, and we had a really good program for a couple of years, but it wasn't like a Star racing team, you know. Like it's hard to beat the comp, so, or like Star being the team to beat, you know. So
yeah,
it's like I said, it's fun being a part of this team. I'm just excited to get back going. I feel like it was this year was almost robbed for me. So trying to keep my head up, get back to my best form for next year.
I love hearing that. Pierce Brown tonight brought to you by Racetech. Racetech.com. Find your local service center. Find your local service tech. They'll get you dialed in suspension-wise. Go ahead, Scotty.
Pierce, through your time on the couch the last few weeks, have you been watching the races? Is it easier, or do you feel like you want to watch them? And then also, what has kind of stood out to you on the East Coast if you have watched them?
Yeah, I've been watching them. I'm just an overall fan of racing.
Right.
You know, like if I'm there or not, like I enjoy watching, but it makes it tough knowing that I should be racing the guys that are out there. You know, like it's been a crazy season, though. Like, obviously, we were talking about the injuries, and I feel like we've lost a lot of good guys in both classes due to injuries. And, what happened to Jerry, I mean, like I said, I can relate to him. I feel for that. Like, it's tough. And Levi, he had a similar injury. Same with Dax. Like, it's kind of ironic, and I don't know, like a sense, like so many guys have back injuries this year. I feel like an injury is like a trend, you know?
Seems that way.
One year it's thumbs, this year it's backs. it's just a sport that we sign up for, though. It's gnarly.
You mentioned your old team TLD, and Lewis Phillips texted me a minute ago, and your old team manager, trainer Will Hahn's coming over to Star now and being a part of the team that you're now on. So a lot of familiarity there. Talk about that. What do you think about Will coming? Is it a blessing, or is it, damn it, that turd's back again?
No, dude. I love Will like a brother. So I'm obviously ecstatic for him to come back over. It'll be good, dude. I mean, I had a lot of history with Will the last couple of years and got to know him really good. So I think it'll be good for me. And even Cole, like Davies, me and Cole were in the trenches with Will the last year or two. So having some familiarity at the team, it'll be nice. Like, it's a new team for me, and I came from a team that I've been on for my whole career.
Right.
So I knew everybody ins and outs, like knew them almost too well. Whereas these guys are they're new, and it's like I said, it'll be good to have a familiar face around.
What does he bring to the table, Will?
Just a lot of knowledge. I mean, he's been with this team, won a lot of races. He's won a lot of races himself. Like, he's just a really smart dude, and he's a good dude. Like, he's going to give you his best every day. I've seen that in and out for the last couple of years training with him. He puts his heart in his craft. So that's someone you always want to have in your corner. Like, you can't beat a guy like that.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I like Will a lot. He's a good guy. How was the bike after you spent a few months on it? How good was it? I'm not going to ask you to say anything negative about GasGas, but what did the Yamaha do that kind of maybe blew your mind a little bit or surprised you?
Well, I mean, it's definitely fast, dude. Like, it was my first day on it was pretty eye-opening. It's pretty fast, actually really fast. It's a power that you kind of have to control, like I've never had that problem, like I was blown away with that. The suspension's unreal. I was all off season just trying to get used to kind of like this chassis and how they set it up. Because I came from a steel frame, and I've been on a steel frame my whole life. So it was new for sure. And there was a couple of things that I was struggling with. And there is a few things that like I did miss about my GasGas. Like, it was, I'd say, really good at pushing through rhythms, but the window of consistency was not there at all. Like, I feel like it's more point and shoot with this Yamaha. Like, wherever you want to go, it's going to go. You just kind of have to figure out what setup is right for that day. But no, it was good. Like, it took me about till December to get used to the chassis and like really know it in and out. So from there on out, like I was just putting in laps. I didn't really touch the bike too much. But yeah, I still don't have that much time on it. I'd say 4 months in total. So there's some things that I need to learn about it. I haven't ridden outdoors on it, so once I get back on the bike, I'll learn that side of things. But dude, I mean, all in all, you can't beat this bike. It's really good. I'm definitely stoked to finally get the chance to ride it, like I said.
Good. Scotty, should I comment since I rode the 250F this couple weekends ago?
Yeah, I think that everybody
everybody
was like, Pierce is already riding again? Like, when you rode that 250F, he's already back on the bike?
I didn't know if he might want some advice since I rode it outdoors.
Yeah.
Probably not. Let's move on. Go ahead, Scotty.
Race him through whoops and see what happens. Pierce, during all that, you mentioned that you have been able to start training again, which is great. During all of this, was there any cheat meals on your diet? Did anything change? And then what is the cheat meal to go to?
Yeah. No, I'm definitely not off the program anymore. I'm back training with the guys, but for a while I was off the program. Like, I I was so underweight that I was just eating whatever was in front of me, trying to get back some pounds. So that wasn't a bad problem to have for sure. Like I ate well for a few weeks. But yeah, now it's back to business. I'm trying to get back in the program and just trying to get back to, like that lifestyle of training, eating well. I mean, it's rewarding in itself, like as much as you dread those days of the track sometimes, like when you don't have it, it's you miss it. So yeah, I'm just getting back into things now.
All right, Pierce.
What's the go-to cheat meal?
Oh yeah, Taco Bell for sure. I didn't get to that question.
Taco Bell.
Yeah, I love Taco Bell.
Wow.
Gordita Supremes or Mexican pizzas, or what are we talking about?
My order is normally like a quesadilla, and then I get crunch wrap.
Yeah.
Sometimes get nachos. I don't know. Me and my girlfriend love Taco Bell.
Yeah.
We'll order the whole menu and just share it.
There you go.
It's a problem.
My fiance is a crunch wrap Supreme girl for sure.
All right. Yeah. All right, Pierce, I got two more for you. Let's start with you're in recovery. You sound like you're in really good spirits. You can't wait to get back. But there is a mental side to the sport, especially coming off a significant injury. Do you have any concerns of when you get back on the bike of, oh boy, I don't, you know what I'm saying? You could have those negative thoughts, and maybe like Austin Faulkner, I feel like is dealing with this right now where he's just kind of playing it safe a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to be part of it. This was the worst and hardest thing I've had to go through. So when that day comes, I swing my leg back over that bike. I mean, it's going to take a while. I mean, I was off the bike for a while. It's going to be new and different. I don't think I'll jump back in and be riding with the boys the first week. Like I'm going to be taking it slow, but mentally I'm in a good spot. I mean, for the longest time I was in the hospital, and when I got out of it, I'm like, dude, I don't know. In the back of my mind, there's that little voice that's saying, I don't know if I want this, like how much pain this is putting me through. Like, is it worth it? But I don't know. Watching the races, just being back healthy again and back to day-to-day life, like I miss it like nothing else. I mean,
yep.
Dirt bikes is what I do, what I was born doing my whole life. So I think that's going to be in my blood for forever. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to get over that hump at some point, but I mean, it's only part of it. Like I said, this was a hard thing to go through, but it's not going to be the end of me for sure.
Hey, Pierce, we had one of our listeners, Austin, ask pay $4.99 to ask you this question, Pierce.
$4.99.
What do you make of the championships battles? And go ahead and give us your picks if you can.
Oh wow.
Ooh, I don't know. Honestly, like Seth is really surprising me. I mean, for the East Coast, he's crushing it. I think he's hard to beat right now. I mean, I know he's hard to beat right now. He's in a good spot. So I think it's his title to lose. We'll see in this weekend how RJ responds. But yeah, it's him and RJ right now. I'm a big Coop guy. I think Coop's I know he's had a tough couple weeks, but I think he's gonna pull through. I mean, that's my pick for 450. 250 West, it's I think it's gonna be Hayden. I mean, it's all but over for him, Yeah, those are my picks.
Yeah, I think those are kind of my picks too, Scotty.
Well, it's very, very interesting, Pierce, that you picked your teammate Cooper Webb. Very, very, very crazy.
Well, hey, I'm picking him too.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let's close this out with I don't remember if I asked you this or not previously, but just take us back through winning the final race in the SMX, your final race with TLD, how that feels.
Yeah, it was sick, dude. I was on cloud nine for a while. Just everything I went through with that team and finally getting that win. It was a long time coming, dude. We put in a lot of work to get there. And yeah, it it was definitely celebrated for sure. I was stoked to get it done at the last round, but then again, I was like, dude, I feel like I could go again next weekend. Like it
Yeah.
was hard going however many months it was, 4 months without a gate drop, you know, like I was chomping at the bit. So it was good though. Like I was just stoked to see how stoked everybody was. Like Troy wasn't there, unfortunately. I think he was in Portugal, but he FaceTimed me. He was through the roof, and like just seeing him that stoked was cool. Like finally giving back to Troy, because I mean, dude, I grew up watching his guys win since I was a little kid. So being that guy was cool. So overall, I mean, dream come true, dream scenario. Yeah, I miss it for sure.
Well, it makes me happy to hear that you got that win and how you reacted to it, and having Troy FaceTime you, that makes me happy, because you're right, it was a long time coming and you deserve it, dude. I look forward to you being recovered and getting back in and coming back to the races, but just take your time, man. But yeah, do your best, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. You have a good night, and thanks for doing this.
Yes, sir. You guys too.
All right. Take care. All right. That's Pierce Brown. He was brought to you tonight by Racetech. I'm pretty sure he was gaming. Did you hear that click, click, click?
Oh, I didn't catch it.
Didn't catch it? I was hearing a little click, click, click. I think that was some A-B, B-B,
Well, if he
A,
did,
B,
he's
B.
very good at multitasking, because he seemed very engaged.
Yeah. You know that I couldn't have done that.
No, dude, you can't even like drink a bottle of water while you're like trying to work on something.
Yeah, I wait till you talk or they talk before I take a drink of water. But
wait, just hold on, guys.
What? No, what?
We're going to work on getting on the phone. Yeah.
All right, easy. It's enough.
All right, my bad.
That's your limit.
All right.
No, that was good.
Does Anstey, let's say like Anstey still happened the same way that it happened, but Pierce didn't get hurt.
Okay. So Pierce is out, or Pierce is in, Max is still out.
Max, does Pierce win the championship? I know it's a really like specific hypothetical.
Well, did you put the question up while Pierce was on?
Yeah, I had it on.
So that was kind of the question, right? Like that I.
What if he was? But
if he was in, would he still be a championship contender? I believe that was the question.
Well, not champion contender. Like, is he like he's basically your champion at this point, right?
I don't know, because we didn't see enough out of him, right? So I don't know. I do feel, and I think I said this earlier in the year, that Pierce should be a title threat. He was good enough to win races in the past, and things kept happening. We hadn't seen this. So I can't say yes, he would be, because we didn't see enough of him.
But at the same time, though, like at one point, RJ was like 26 points down.
Yeah.
And he's in this championship. Like,
I think Pierce is in the top 3 or 4 for sure. Like right now, obviously it's RJ, Hammaker, Vial, all separated by what, like 3 or 4 points. I say Hammaker's or Pierce is in there within 5 points. It's all 4 of them.
I think he'd still be leading it.
Do you? Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say.
Him or Max, if they hadn't had their
obviously it's hard to say, but
it's just fun to think about.
he was one of the title contenders for sure. And yeah, very, very much a bummer. I wanted to get into more of the 250 East talk, and we may still do that before we close out. But let's do X brand tear offs or
the wrong show.
Well, Steve, Steve just texted me. He has a question for Devin Simonson, so I was thinking Steve. But anyway.
No, he doesn't listen. He doesn't get that question.
Yeah, he's not listening. I
text him that if he wants to join the chat, I pull questions from there.
Yeah, I should text him. Join the chat. Send $4.99.
Yeah, like Austin, because Austin sends stuff to his show too. So yeah. Austin, you should text him that. Austin texts pay $4.99 for a question. Get in line.
All right, X Brand Forum check-in. X Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, including the 2023 XC1 champion Craig DeLong, as well as Supercross and motocross and arena cross riders like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, our guy Jerry Robin, and many more. Visit eksbrand.com or go to your local dealership and ask for X Brand, distributed through WPS. The X Brand Forum check-in tonight is titled You're Over It, posted by Chain Chatter. Okay. Here's the post. You're over it. Well, kind of. They're over it. You're not over it. You'll watch Saturday night because it's on, but you're not as into it as you were on January 11th back at Anaheim. Happens every year. Winter wrapped and spring back. Oh man, it's hard to. I can't see.
Is this like a rhyme or riddle or what?
I know where he's going. I just can't see it, man. My eyes are getting really bad. Winter wrapped and spring took off, and life feels a little different for everyone. About Seattle-ish, you were content, and your interest started to wander. You see where we're going?
Yeah.
As the season goes on,
Yeah.
do we lose interest? Start it 3 weeks earlier. Take the week off for Christmas. Let the mudders happen in open roof stadiums. Part of it. Be done end of March. Give them a month of April to train for outdoors. Okay. Yeah. So he's kind of saying condense the series, move it a little different. But I guess what I want to ask is, do you find yourself, let's just take 2025, halfway through the season being, I'm kind of over it. I'm ready for outdoors. Or are you still like all in?
I mean, it's obviously feast or famine, depending on what the point standings are. Like, we've been fortunate the last, and this is something that I've mentioned before, that this last decade where we've had all these guys that have rode well into their 30s and these just elite guys that have stuck around the sport and made it so entertaining to watch. We've been really lucky that most of the time there is some kind of storyline that you're still following.
Yeah.
It's been pretty rare that the last 2 or 3 rounds don't really matter. Like, it was kind of looking that way before Eli got hurt, but then that kind of changed everything a couple years ago. It does seem like there's been stuff to watch the last few years, so that has kind of that's the big game breaker for me. Is the title still in contention? Like, this year, we're really lucky. We have the three-way title fight for the East, and then Chase is making a run. It's pretty exciting. That has me tapped into it. But I do see where he's coming from. I don't know if the shorter season changes that at all. I mean, I think that, like, if you made a 12 round or whatever he said.
I don't think he said really necessarily short. He just said it kind of started a little earlier.
Okay, so we're talking 10, 11 rounds.
I think his point was to try to avoid some of the bad weather.
Yeah.
But, like, for me,
don't get me started on that again.
I think I said earlier when we had
dirt.
I think I said when we had some of the mud races, like, I in the past, I don't like that. But, like, it added something, right, this year. Like, we had some cool shit happen, like Gage Linville getting a podium.
Yeah.
McElrath getting his first 450 podium. So it threw a little bit of a monkey wrench in it. And that's kind of cool. A little bit to have that 1 or 2, like, weird races where it does that. And you're right. There is still a very tight title fight. 450s, 250 East, still a tight title fight. There's still some cool stuff going on in the West. Like, will Davies keep winning? Seeing the rookie come up and do this. Yeah, maybe Hayden has it locked in, but there's still good racing. There, can Juju turn things around? Like, there's still stuff going on where I'm like, okay, I'm excited to see East. I'm excited to see West. Obviously, the 450 class is exciting. So I can't wait to see Justin Cooper win his first race in 3 weeks.
I think that if you were to
that wasn't funny, I guess.
Well, I was so busy trying to think of what I was going to say. My next question there
doesn't matter.
I think that if you do shorten it, it takes away some of the prestige of winning this championship. It's such a you have to not only be fast, but you have to be fit, and you also have to be durable. And it's like it's a very tough sport to make it all the way through the whole season without getting hurt. We very rarely get there where all the guys are still injury free. So I think that it's a testament to the rider that can go 17 rounds and win the championship, and it makes them the elite rider that they are to win the title. And if you shorten it and make it 10-11, it almost makes it kind of a little more gimmicky in a sense.
I don't think he's saying that. I already deleted it, but I don't think he's saying that shorten it. He just talked about moving it and trying to adjust.
Oh, I thought you said start in January and end in April.
No, like before January, take a little bit of a Christmas break. That's your break. But then he's trying to avoid racing in the rainy weather in the open air stadiums and have a little more time before nationals, give more time to prep.
I guess, yeah,
basically,
okay. I thought he was saying,
like, are you bored at this point? Like, if you had that break around, if you started
I'm not
in December,
bored yet, no.
I think he was saying, like, if you started in December, had like 2-week break for Christmas and New Year's, and then race on out, is what I was taking away. But regardless, are you bored at this point is really my question, and I'm saying no.
No, I'm not. There's still plenty to talk about. That would be interesting to ask the riders, though. Would you rather keep the 2.5, 3 months that you have after SMX is over and you start, kind of slowly get ready for Supercross, or would you rather have it be kind of sporadically through the year? I would be curious to see which side they took on. Probably be 50-50.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You get both answers. Let's do Evan's coolant emails, and then we'll get to Devin Simonson. Evan's waterless coolant protects your engine because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation, but with Evans, the metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, Ampro Factory Yamaha, and many other teams, regardless of sponsorship, Evans is in the bikes on the podium. All right. Sorry, I'm coughing a little bit here. This email comes from Phil Smeltzer, and it's a little, I think it might be a little tough to understand, but I think you'll get it. I just kind of pre-read it right before the show. Am I crazy, or does it seem dumb that in the Olympics they have gold, silver, bronze medals, and they all get on the podium and show them second and third in championship? They get congrats. AMA doesn't do that in Supercross or motocross. At least get 22 plastic cards with a sticker and say, congrats, you got third or even 19th in the season, and give them 5-second interviews. Even 19th should at least get a plastic card. He's 19th in the world. At least have top 3 get a good job. Here's bronze. Okay, so top 3, I mean, they do get trophies at the rounds. I think maybe he's talking about the series.
But for the championship, do they? That's a good point.
Okay,
kinda.
so
That's
if
kind
you
of a
were
good point.
22nd in Supercross, would you want a plaque that said you were 22nd? Would you care? Sure. Yes, they could give those out. I'll say yes. It'd be cheap, no big deal. Absolutely. Will the riders really care? I doubt it. Now,
Yeah,
I
but
do
that's-
like the idea of them all getting an interview, but I don't know where you're going to get that interview. You can't do that at the end of a broadcast.
No, but he is right though. Like, it's a world championship. Like, that's what we sell it as. We sell it as a world championship. And you technically were 22nd in the world of dirt bikes. Like, that's pretty dang good, honestly. Like, that is, like, we always say that these guys in that 12th to 20th second range don't always get the credit that they deserve. Mm-hmm. And I think that it would be cool to shed some light on, like, hey, look, these dudes, Starling drove his van, like you were saying earlier. He drove across the country for 5 months, to back and forth. In order to do this, he sacrificed a lot. Maybe they should get some recognition. I'm kind of with it. I don't know how.
Do that, right? We could do, or like Racer X does. They're
I have an answer. Go ahead and say what you. But I have an answer.
They
to
have.
It.
I'm choking here. So they're a privateer highlight or something. I think in the magazine they'll do that, and we do interviews with different riders, and we'll at times spotlight privateers. But where you can't do that at the end of the broadcast. It'd take an hour. And nobody's going to stick around and watch that. We could do interviews with Grant Harlan and Cade Clayson and Kyle Chisholm, but what we find is they don't really get read or listened to that much. So, like, how do you do that where people are going to pay attention and they're still going to actually get that acknowledgement?
I believe that they already do this to some extent, but every year the NBC does they do the Supercross preview where it comes on NBC. Yep. It's an hour long. It comes on like a week or two before the series starts. I think that they do like a highlight recap. I think Peacock does at least, where they do like a recap of the season. Yeah. Now that we have the SMX thing going, maybe have it in one of those formats, like that week off in between Supercross and Motocross. You kind of have a season highlights kind of show, and then maybe reformat that and feature that a little bit. Like, hey, this guy was 16th in the world. What, that's. I would like. We would have to build that prestige, and that would be a good way to do it on national TV on Sunday afternoon.
I would like to see all these guys get more recognition. Yes, finding a way to do it where.
That's why I just fixed it.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody would watch that.
It comes on NBC. That's where you would get new people to watch the show. Like, oh, Kyle Chisholm is the 15th fastest guy in the world. I like this guy.
You really I like
think
people would watch that, though?
I drink Twisted Teas. They watch the preview one
because it's.
I know it's on NBC, dude.
Because it's the main guy.
Put it on NBC. So you might get new people. What is this thing I just missed?
We care about those guys. But I think we are a small percentage of the fan base. The large, just the general fan, isn't going to care that much. I don't think.
Somebody scrolling through channels and got on NBC and saw it though.
Maybe, yeah.
They would. That would be the get new demographics in. Would be this guy's the 15th fastest dirt bike rider in the world. That's cool. I think. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, man.
If it's on NBC, somebody will watch it.
Okay. I'm not against it. And I'm certainly not against them all getting a little plaque or something that says, hey, you finished. Yeah, that's fine.
The top
But really,
three
those
for
guys
sure,
really
though.
all they really care about is getting that check. Give me the check.
Do most of these guys get a third in points championship bonus, don't they?
Yeah, but we're talking about the guy that
I know, but
19th.
I'm just saying. I'm jumping back to the guys. The top three should get more recognition.
Yes.
Yeah, they all should.
All right, let's try to see if we get Devin on the phone.
It is kind of a winner take all kind of mentality in this sport.
We can ask our next guest that question because he's one of those guys. Well, we can ask him here in a second. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. Don't forget they have complete seats for the Talare and Super 73 and covers for the Sur-Ron and Segway, and they strive to ship orders within 36 business hours. Visit GutsRacing.com. Use that promo code VitalMX to save 20%. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us from the Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha team, Devin Simonson. What's up, Devin?
Oh, what's up? How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for doing it, man. We're excited to talk to you. You run those gut seats. How do you like them?
Oh man, you gotta stay gripping with the guts, baby. The best out there.
They'll keep you locked in.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on Supercross, seat balancing, even outdoors. Yeah, you need those for those long motos too. Keep you gripping to the bike.
Absolutely. All right, Devin. So you made your return to racing after a pretty significant wrist injury in East Rutherford. Rode really, really well. 9th overall. Ran as high as 5th at one time. 3rd in your heat. Hell of a good night for your return, man. How do you feel about it a few days later?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I had a pretty gnarly wrist injury in December, and it honestly took longer than I anticipated and longer than I wanted it to, right? Like, I was hoping to be back on the bike really just maybe, 4 weeks after it happened, but that didn't work out in my favor. And yeah, I mean, I'm stoked with how the night went. Considering the amount of time I had on Supercross and just on the bike in general, like I feel like I rode really well and didn't have too many sketchy moments. Like I was pretty solid the whole night and the whole day as far as that goes. So yeah, I mean, as a day in a whole, like I was pumped on it. Yeah. Were your results a benefit of watching me ride at Club MX the previous week? Absolutely. We had Darkside out at club looking like Eli Tomac out there.
Don't feed his ego, Devin. Come on, bro.
Nobody believes this to be true, Scotty.
I know.
I mean, hey, if they weren't there, they don't know what happened, right?
Well, you didn't even see the good day. You bailed too soon. You should have been there Sunday.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Devin, he rides the 250F once, and he was giving Pierce Brown advice on the interview before you.
Hey, man, that's all it takes. One time.
Yeah. If you guys are watching on YouTube right now, like and subscribe. But yeah, Devin, I'm really proud of you, man, for that comeback. I really thought it would be more of a struggle coming back from the wrist injury, but yeah, not bad, man. Not bad at all, really. What were your expectations going in? What did you like? Was your plan just to get through the day? Did you have set goals?
Honestly, like I'll be 100% honest. I rode Supercross last week, I think 2 days, and then the week before that, I had 4 days that week, so 6 days total. And not one of those days that I really feel that good on the bike, but I just kept telling myself I'll show up on race day. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I did. I feel like I did show up on race day when it counted and when it mattered the most. And yeah, I mean, I told myself before this weekend, like I would be really stoked with the top 10. And I also had a point to prove. I feel like for myself, just to prove to people why I'm at where I am. And yeah, why the club guys kind of took a shot on me. Like, yeah, I wanted to prove to people that, like, really.
Yeah, I want to get into that opportunity with club in a second, but I've got to I got to get onto you a little bit. Like I feel like eighth, you should have at least had 8th. Why do we let Henry Miller just go right on by when you're getting lapped by McAdoo? You're just like, yeah, go ahead, man, follow. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. Like looking back on it, I mean, I only had 30 seconds left. Like there's plenty of things that I saw, but for me, it was one of those things. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty tired. Yeah, I mean, I was tired and I was making some mistakes and started getting sketchy some of the whoops, and I was honestly just trying to bring it home. Like,
Yeah, I figured I figured you were pretty smoked, but at the same time, I thought maybe you didn't realize who it was. Maybe you thought it was one of the leaders or something. I wasn't really sure, but I figured you were smoked.
Yeah. Well, my main thing really was I knew Seth was coming up behind me, and I had gotten sketchy in the whoops prior laps, so I wasn't trying to, get in his way or do anything with his lead. So then I was trying to kind of mind my own business, like doubling through the whoops. And then obviously I expected Henry to kind of take advantage of that. But at the same time, dude, I was so tired that I didn't really have much of a fight to give anyways. So
yeah, I think a top 10 is phenomenal, man, for your return. So yeah, no, just giving you a little bit of ball busting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, Devin, it is the timing of it's kind of funny. It's like, all right, first race back. It's going to be like 70, 80 degrees in the middle of the day. The track's going to be baked out, and here's 2 whoop sections. There you go.
Yeah, not only that, like I've in the past, 4 months or whatever, since I got hurt in December, I really haven't even rode that much. I had maybe less than a month on the bike. And then, like I said, only 6 days on Supercross. So just in general, like my bike time hasn't been there. I still was going hard in the gym and cycling and everything like I was supposed to the whole time I was hurt. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing like bike time,
Yeah.
So.
Well, you also had to deal with that long rhythm section that was obviously I wasn't there, but I heard all the chatter in the group text, and it was oddly built and very, very technical. And so that none of that helped your case.
Yeah, no, honestly though, I'm not going to say the track was great, but I didn't think it was that bad. Like, yeah, of course, there was a few jumps that were sketchy, like whatever, but I feel like that there's sketchy stuff on any track that we're on, So, yeah, I mean, I didn't find it like that bad, but yeah, I mean, I get what people are saying as well.
All right, so let's switch gears then and talk about the opportunity at Club MX. You've been training there a long time. You've rode, I think last year you were at Rock River, and you've rode for PRMX Kawasaki in the past. This opportunity, like, how did the opportunity to ride to race for Club come up?
Oh man, I mean, put it in the work, and I mean, they took notice. I feel like of that. I was showing up every day and working my ass off, so showing them that I wanted it and was willing to do whatever. And then along with, I put in, I feel like, some good rides on the 450 last year, considering, the how deep the class was. I mean, it's even deep this year as well. But yeah, I mean, just feeling like being there every day and putting myself out there, and they took notice. Yeah, I feel like.
Well, and there's a high class of riders training there, whether it be Maximus Volin, I mean, even Justin Brayton's there, Phil Nicoletti, Cade Clayson's been there, Daniel Blair's working there now. So there's a lot of guys to learn from and compete with. So I would just that facility as a whole is really, I don't think people realize how elite the Club MX facility is.
I mean, no, I agree with you. I don't think people do. To me, it's the best facility out there is. Like, I mean, you can't really compare anything to it, right? Like, It's a dirt bike neighborhood that has everything you could ever dream of there. Like, as far as, I mean, there's the best trainers in the world, and that I think, and everything, like best tracks, the track worker Miguel, we got a nutritionist on site. I mean, there's, the list goes on and on about it, but yeah, I mean, you really can't beat it, right? Like,
yeah. For those that don't really know, since I was just there, I kind of have these numbers in my head. It's 260 acres, 10 tracks, one GNCC course, and then the variety of dirt, Scotty. We didn't even talk about this when I came back from there. They have deep sand, loamy clay, or good clay, loamy dirt.
You told me how you did so many laps in the sand.
Yeah, well, regardless.
Hey, he did all.
Yeah, I know.
Up on that. He was grinding on the sand track.
Yeah.
The point though that I was making wasn't about me, Scotty. It was about just how many, the variety of things they can train on and test on there is honestly second to none. There is no other facility that I'm aware of that has that many options.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And even the Supercross program, like, I mean, we had 4 Supercross tracks at one point, and all of them had different dirt, different layouts. Like, and yeah, like you said, it's just different, man. It's crazy, honestly, that there's something like that, and some people don't take advantage of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
So as I recall, your deal with club is Supercross only, but there's been some injuries. You've done some 450 outdoor riding in the past. Is there any chance that we'll see you outdoors? Have you guys talked about it?
No. Yeah. Like you said, I'm Supercross only as of now. And, no really talks about going outdoors, yet, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking to change that this weekend, right? Hopefully
Okay.
to knock off a good result, and hopefully we'll get to talking.
I like it.
Yeah, Devin, it was funny. You were mentioning club, and you were talking about how you have a nutritionist, and we have the maintenance guy with this, and we have the neighborhood. We have the neighborhood grump and Phil. Yeah,
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, they have everything.
Yeah. So you've had kind of a very unique career. You did some of the stuff in the GPs, and you've had rides like with the privateer kind of style, and now you have a not a factory team, but a very, very capable team and club and the facility. All of it accumulated. Where do you feel like you are at this point in your career compared to when you started because of the experiences that you've had?
Oh, I mean, leaps and bounds, right? Like, honestly, it's crazy to look back, because like my first year Supercross, I was training at club, on their program, but I was with a different team on a Kawasaki, and I thought I knew what I was doing back then, right? And then fast forward 3 or 4 years to now, it's like, holy shit, I didn't even know anything like what I was doing, right? So just like you said, the experiences, like going to the GPs and racing in Europe for some time, and 450 Supercross last year alone, I felt like just racing every weekend and racing with the top guys, the best of our sport, like that has taught me more than anything, I feel like, so far, honestly. Like, just the experience, and it was honestly pretty unreal. I felt like how much better I got just racing the 450 class, and then as well, coming back to club during the week last year and applying the things that I would learn during the weekend. And then, it was all around big gains last year, I feel like.
Yeah. And then like, after doing the stuff with it being in Europe and the GPs, does it make sense that you see guys like Vial and them come over?
Yeah, absolutely. Like
A little
the
more respect.
GP thing was cool. And like, I'll forever be grateful for that experience. And like, honestly, I hope maybe one day I can go back and race it again, just a little more prepared and stuff like that. But I want to be here in the US.
Yeah. Devin Simonson tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. Visit gutsracing.com. It's coming into this year with the club ride. I asked you your expectations coming back this weekend, but what were your expectations coming into the season? You said you didn't have a lot of time on the bike, riding Supercross, but what was your end goal for the season? What were you hoping for?
I mean, kind of like the same goal that I had for this weekend, like just go out there, get good starts, run up front and finish up front. Really. Like, I mean, there was no reason why I couldn't, or I shouldn't. I mean, like I said, or like you said, the bike's proven, the program's proven, like there's really no excuse as to why I shouldn't be able to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was my goal, and I feel like it still really hasn't changed. Even with the injury, I still feel good on the bike, and my wrist is healthy. Yeah, it's sore, it hurts sometimes, but I don't believe it's holding me back. So, my goal is kind of staying the same.
When you're at your best, how close are you to say a Voland or a Shock?
I mean, man, it's hard to say, right? Like, you're at the practice track, we've done thousands of laps out there. But my best, like preseason before I got hurt, I feel like some days like I could match their pace. Maybe, half second here, second. And again, it's hard to say because you're at the practice track. You've done so many laps out there. You can almost ride it with your eyes closed, So, but I mean, that's where I felt like I was, and
Okay, so we were talking before you got on. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. We had an email from a guy saying, "Hey, at the end of the season, first through third, they get some recognition, right? But like 4th through 22nd overall in the series, maybe they should get a plaque or something that says, hey, I got 19th. I was 19th best in the world in Supercross. Get a little interview. You know, would a rider, like if you raced all season and you finished 15th in the series and they gave you a plaque, would you be like, oh, cool, man, I was 15th best? Or do you like, yeah, I don't really care. That's not what I want, you know?
Oh man, I feel like it's different for everyone, right? Like everyone's kind of got a different goal, and maybe their goal was to be like 20th or 15th. But I feel like, yeah, if I got a 15th place plaque, I would probably just throw it away.
Okay.
That's what it is. Mantle or garbage?
Not throw it away. But I don't know, man. Like I said, everybody's got their own goal, and like it would be cool, probably. Yeah, you know, maybe one day when you're older to have that to look back on, like, yeah, you know, show your son or whatever. Like, yeah, I raced 450 Supercross. I got 22nd, you know. But
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I that's kind of what we said. It'd probably be different from everybody, and I think most of the guys in that position are like, yeah, just give me my check. Let me get the hell out of here, basically.
Yeah, if I had the option, a check or a plaque, I'm taking the check.
Sure.
It is interesting though, because I mean that's how guys like Devin are programmed. Like, you know, like I need to at least be in the top 10.
Yeah.
If we were to if they were to work on creating the education and the vibe of the sport to be where those guys were a little celebrated a little more. I know, but we're so niche, it's hard to do that. But it would be kind of something, maybe that's what we should strive for as like a industry, to get to where that 15th does kind of mean a lot.
Well, yeah, you're right. We are a sport where a guy that's 5th in 450 Supercross, well, he sucks.
Yeah.
Why is he
Take
not
his
winning?
ride. Give his ride.
Yeah, so you're right, and that's not fair because they are the best riders in the world.
Yeah.
So that's a fair point. Do you have anything else? I've got one or two more.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, this one's kind of off topic for our show, but I got a text from a Steve Mathis.
Oh man.
He says, you know, you're trying really, really hard to get that handicap spot in the LCQ Privateer Challenge race at Denver. What are you willing to do to get that spot? We've already cut your hair.
Oh man. I don't know. What else is there to do? Whatever it takes, really.
I mean, whatever it takes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about a haircut again. That one was a little ruthless, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to cut your hair again. I think he's going to want to do something probably a little bigger, probably.
Okay, this is kind of maybe kind of mean, but what about if he lets you like just roost you, like just straight trace? How's that lame?
That's lame.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think outside the box here.
That sounds good with me. I'll take it.
No chest pro. Just straight. No
straight
jersey.
roost.
Just straight.
To be 100% honest with you, I don't even wear a chest protector. So that's
okay.
fine.
Yeah. I'm just gonna text him back, and you see whatever you come up with, Steve.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, should be interesting.
With some approval, though, I might need approval of it first.
Yeah.
Don't let him get sky's the limit. That might end up bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Devin, we've got 2 races left for you. Obviously, Pittsburgh, and then the showdown in Salt Lake City. Are we podium capable? Are we able to get in and throw a little monkey wrench in these championships?
Man, I don't want to I wouldn't say podium capable. Honestly, I think a good ride for me right now. Like, I don't feel like why I shouldn't have been able to finish in that 5-6 range.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said, I ran up there for, I don't know, 12 minutes or 11 minutes, something like that. I think I had 5 minutes or 4.5, something like that to go. And before I really started fading. And honestly, I feel like that was just lack of like not doing 15s. And once you kind of get that first one out of the way, like you can kind of know what to expect, right? I didn't even know what to expect. I hadn't really done any 15s, hadn't really done any motos per se. Like I did a few, but not to that level, right? So yeah, man, honestly, for me, I would just like to go out there again and get good starts and yeah, you never know where you'll end up if you put yourself up there and give yourself the opportunity to do so, right?
Yeah, I think that's a really good goal, is get a start. That's first and foremost. Run up there as long as you can, get the feeling of the speed, and then take it home safe and keep building, right? That's the goal. Really overall results aren't that important for you right now. It's just getting a feel for this race pace and getting your strength back and your conditioning back. So I like it. And Bonacci just texted me and said he'll come up with something.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah. So I think between Mike and Steve, we'll come up with something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scotty?
That'll work.
Well, Devin, you know what? I read somewhere that your hero was growing up was Ken Roxon. Is that true? And like, what'd you like about Ken? And how is it when you go to the races? Do you ever kind of go over there and say, "Hey, man, what's up, Kenny"?
Honestly, no. I am kind of like a fan of Ken. Just overall, like Ken Roxon, like, dude, he's a badass, right? Like his arm injuries he's been through, and even before that, coming from Europe, he was super young and came over early and started crushing it. I think he was like 14 racing 250A or whatever at Loretta's. And then the main thing was my first ever Supercross race I went to, he was KTM 250. It was, I think, Indianapolis, like, I don't even know what year, but he was number 70. And that was my amateur number growing up. So, it kind of just stuck with me ever since, right? Like, number 70 and 70. And then, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, he's a obviously incredibly talented rider, but just such a nice guy too. So yeah, he's a good one to pull for.
Yeah, absolutely. I should go over there and talk to him sometime, but
yep, you should.
I don't know, man. Those guys are in their own element, you know, as me too. Like, we're all kind of locked in and focused on the day. So,
dude, you got to do it on a Friday or like during a press day, or just walk over there and say what's up. Like when he's on the spin bike, dude. That'd be that's the time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I need to do that.
We got two more for you.
Yeah, Devin, in contrast to guys like the elite level like Kenny and them to the up-and-coming guys, you know, you being at club, you're in a unique situation where you get to see a lot of the upcoming talent. Who's kind of stood out to you at the training facility that you kind of keeping your eye on for the future?
Alex.
Yeah.
Alex is my guy. Yeah,
I mean, we have a stacked amateur lineup. Honestly, those guys give me the business every day, just about. It's honestly, it's pretty cool to see. But yeah, I mean, Alex crushes it, and then we got Ryder Malinowski, he crushes it, and then same with Justin Turner. I think he got on the podium at Daytona. I mean, all three of those guys on Supercross are pretty unreal, especially for the amount of time they've been riding it, which hasn't been long, and they're all, you know, super quick learners, and it's pretty cool to like watch their progress from, you know, even when we started boot camp to now. Like boot camp, these guys, you know, were pretty not far off the pace, but you know, they weren't on pace, and now they're sometimes the fastest guys on the track. You know what I mean? So I would say those three for sure.
Yeah, I'd say Alex wins the futures or SMX Next this weekend. He should have won a couple of them. He's had a crash, a flat tire, et cetera, et cetera. At Pittsburgh, it's the finals, it's the championship. Right. This is Alex's weekend. But one more thing I had for you is I noticed when I was out there at club and I saw you slimmed down a little bit, man. Has that been an effect from being at club? Have those guys kind of been on you a little bit? Has it been the training program? Maybe you weren't as dedicated in the past. What brought on the weight loss? Or am I wrong? I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
No, I mean, all of the above. You kind of, I mean, yeah, they didn't, you know, necessarily make me lose weight, right? But they kind of gave me this incentive, like, you do this and do this, and you know, we'll do this for you, right? So it was kind of an incentive to get it done. And yeah, I mean, I worked my ass off along with the gym trainer Ross and the nutritionist Deborah to figure out a plan how to drop some weight and do it the healthy way and the smart way, not just, you know, drop 30 pounds and be unhealthy, but as well needed to keep my health at as high as I could, so I could perform at a high level, you know. And I feel like we did just that. And yeah, like you said, I think there's a lot of people noticing that I've lost weight, but I'm looking forward to losing more too. So
all right, I like it. Did we have a chat?
I just saw someone said, I already mentioned Phil once, but someone said, has Phil taped Simonson's throttle wide open and said, now go around the track. Because like his whole theory of it is just, let me duct tape your hand and send you on the whoops.
Yeah, no, not yet.
Yeah, I think Phil's more that way with the media who talk shit on the riders. So, yeah. Well, Devin, this has been a pleasure, man. I really enjoyed visiting with you when I was out there at club, and I'm glad you came on the show. And, good luck with these last couple rounds, and just, keep improving. Looking forward to your future.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on, and I think you need to get back to Club Mex, get some more training in, man.
I would love to come back out. And Mike's already told me, like, anytime I want to come out there. So I'm going to try to come out and maybe get out to Georgia and stay like a week or two with Kiefer and try to get him to come down and spend a couple days.
Nice. Heck yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to make y'all look bad, Devin. That's why he's not going back.
Hey man, yeah, just make sure to text me the day before you come, so I'm not riding.
So you don't ride, dude? Yeah, I don't know, man. I wish you had been there Sunday because I felt like I was riding pretty well Sunday. Once we got to the front track, that was my jam, man. I told the guys I rode there 2 years ago and I hurt myself the first day and didn't really get to put laps in like I wanted. And my goal was to get over what I call the anthill, the big jump. The big,
yep.
And then the double after it, or the step up, whatever you want to call it. And I did both those things. So yeah, I was.
Hey, those are pretty good. Those are good sized jumps too. Like heck yeah.
Yeah, and I think I told you I'd never really rode a 250F on a motocross track before either. So that was all trying to figure that out at the same time. And I left with a big smile on my face and checking all the boxes I needed to check that weekend. I'm stoked.
Yeah, how was the back sand, like not the sand track, but the sand section on the main track? Was it rough for you guys or was it smooth?
Nah, it was pretty smooth for us. Yeah, they had it vet friendly.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I wish they had it like that for us some days.
Yeah, like I was almost doing that little double out of the right before the anthill that you come out of the
yeah,
because it was pretty smooth. You know, it wasn't like Friday I saw it. You know, when I first got there and it was nasty.
Yeah. That's how it is for us. Man.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you're a little
which is good. It's good training. Obviously, we need it like that for the races. But it is fun though to get out there. Some days Miguel will have it all fresh prep with some big berms on the outside, and you know it's fun to get out there when it's like that.
He had it good for us, man. And the work, you know, you were back there. We had a ton of rain Thursday night, Friday morning. And they had to go out Friday night and cut in that little rut track that we were riding and the shorter sand section. And man, those guys just crush it. And you talked about Deborah and Ross. That's all part of that Club MX facility, man. And Miguel just crushing it out there. So if you guys are on the East Coast and get a chance to go by there on one of their open ride days, you got to do it. It's an amazing facility. And Devin might be there and come out and give you some pointers.
Yeah, let's go. Everybody needs to come out there and spin some laps for sure. And like you said, dude, Miguel is one of the hardest workers. And I mean, honestly, everybody there, right? Brandon, I've seen him mowing grass and then he's on the dozer 20 minutes later, you know, fixing up the supercross track. And then he's on his golf cart weed eating. Like, you know, there's so many things that are going on and it takes a pretty good crew and everybody has to have the same goal in mind to make it happen. But yeah, I mean, they get shit done for sure. Agreed.
Well, good luck this weekend, Devin. Go out there and kill it. And we'll be paying attention.
Yes, sir. Talk to you guys soon. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, man. Devin Simonson tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. Appreciate that. I don't know what, like, he should have to do something embarrassing or difficult, you know, kind of to get into the LCQ race as a wild card. He's got to pay his dues.
Yeah.
I don't feel like getting roosted is.
I don't know. I just feel like they could do something
that lasts. Like when he cut his hair, that's like when I cut my hair, that's like, you got to live with that for a while.
His hair in the picture you had, his hair's getting long again. Maybe just. That's already been done.
Yeah,
Steve's,
that's not going to do it for Steve. That again, but
it's not going to do it for him.
All righty, let's. What do we want to do here? I'm looking for my ETS read. ETS Race Fuels. ETS Race Fuels was forged from the heat of competition nearly 30 years ago, developing purpose-engineered fuel for high-profile teams and highly competitive series. We have been the power behind many podium wins, and ever since, teams using ETS Racing Fuels have won more than 50 national and world champion titles, and we continue to forge new alliances and partnerships across motorsports. ETSRacingFuels.com to find a distributor, and you can use the same fuel used by factory KTM, Chase Sexton getting it done, factory HRC Honda, Rockstar Husqvarna, Rockstar Gas, and many others. Good stuff. I love ETS, man. I got a shot full of it out there. It's good stuff. Let's skip our fantasy points. Just, guys.
Well, hold on. I think I finally beat you for the first time in a few weeks.
All right, we can talk about it then. We'll get to it in a second.
Maybe I didn't because we haven't actually told our points.
You know what? Let's do it then. If you guys are not playing the Vital MX fantasy game, you need to go to vitalmx.com, sign up. It's free. Join the MotoXpod League and play, man. It's pretty simple. You get $1 million budget every week. You can pick as many riders as it fit within your budget. Riders' price points are based off results, and you get their points. So if you pick Chase Sexton this week, you got 25 points, but he cost you a big portion of your budget. So is that the way you want to go? Do you just want to get high profile riders? Do you want to get a few privateers?
I try to do a balance, and I was mentioning before this show, I seem to have the last few times I've done it, end up with 7 riders somehow. It did okay this week. I was able to get a good balance of maybe a little bit of cheaper guys and a couple of expensive guys.
Mm-hmm. That's what I try to do. Yeah.
So how many points did you end up with?
Let me do the Pro X read first, because Pro X is bringing you this segment, and Pro X is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro, Yamaha, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They have been supplying quality components for almost 50 years, from complex jobs like an engine rebuild, which you have to do when you blow up your engine because the drain plug.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets, which you should be doing regularly. Find Pro X at your local dealer or visit pro-x.com and search for parts for your bike. Okay, my points, 92. Not good.
I did beat you.
What'd you beat? How much you get?
119.
Not bad. 28 points -ish, somewhere around there? 27
points? It was above the average score, which was 108. And
nice.
Out of I got to see what I am for.
The first time you've been above average in your whole life.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's funny because like I think a joke about that. Like I am just like average. Like I'm like average IQ, average height, like average. And as far as across the world, I am. I know you're a freak and you're tall, but
wow, that was rude.
Yeah, sorry. But anyways, like, yeah, it's just funny. I'm just like the most normal person.
So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 riders. But guys like Clayson and Hymus got me 0 points. Bloss had a bad race, only got me 3 points. So, yeah, typically Benny Bloss is going to get you more than 3 points.
At this point in the season,
Hymus should have got me more than 0 points. So it's just a bad luck.
I had both winners. I had Sexton and Haymaker. I also had Cooper Webb. I had Benny Bloss that didn't do too much. Dean Wilson got me a few more points than expected.
Yep.
And then Thrasher and Henry Miller.
Shout out to MotoXer 68 and Craig 93. They won the league each with 151. So congrats to those guys. But that is the Pro X Vital MX Fantasy Recap. We'd love for you guys to play and send us your results just to do it. You hit us up at motoxpodshow@gmail.com. You guys can comment on any of these segments we do, any of these interviews. You can send questions once you see the guest list. We'll try to get them in there, or go to the Vital MX forum and do the same thing there. But we really like your interaction and your kind of sending emails and getting involved with us. That means a lot to us, and it helps with the content. So we'd love for you to do that. Let's do TBolt USA Top 5.
Let's do it.
Do we want to do that?
Yeah.
All right. If you are a pit bike enthusiast and love shredding around on a CRF 110, KLX 110, or whatever you have, you need TBoltUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser. TBolt USA is a pit bike supply site that has everything you need for your pit bike. From BBR handlebars to D&M shocks and even full bikes from YCF and Pitster Pro Bikes, TBolt USA has it all. They even have stuff for those Chinese bikes that we all know are very difficult to find parts for. So you'll find pit bikes, engines, and parts at TBoltUSA.com. Got the shirt on right now if you're watching on YouTube. Like and subscribe. That helps out a tremendous amount. Just so you guys know, next week's TBolt USA Top 5, if TJ is here, is going to be top 5 questions you would want answered when you die, I guess. Basically, like if you were, you go to the pearly gates or whatever you believe in. And examples would be, who shot JFK? Are there aliens?
Oh,
what's the meaning of life?
I know all the answers to those.
Whatever your top 5 questions is. I feel like we should get some input from our listeners on that one. Yeah. That could be a good one. Tonight's TBolt USA Top 5 was kind of a last minute thing because we realized TJ wasn't going to be here, so we couldn't do the other one. We're going to do our top 5 romantic comedies, rom-coms.
Yeah. Dude, if you want to tell us you're gay, just tell us you're gay, dude.
Wow.
just a joke.
First you said I was a freak.
Yeah.
Then you say I'm gay, which
we're gonna get demonetized on YouTube.
Why are you hating on gay people, Scotty?
I don't know, I don't know.
Jeez. All right, you ready for me to go?
Yeah,
I'll
ahead.
go first if you want. I mean, you said you.
I'm actually pretty proud of my list.
Do you want to go first then?
No, you go ahead.
All right. Number 1, Star Wars.
I knew you were gonna. I
laughed
knew
at
you were
that
gonna pull
movie.
some shit like that.
I mean, Luke, Han.
I was thinking about that. There's a lot of movies that I felt like I kind of gray area, but that's
Yeah.
that's not a really romantic comedy.
I know,
bro.
but I'm trying to be funny here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
good
right.
one.
This is not a movie. It's a show that was on Netflix, but it's still a rom-com in my eyes. Nobody wants this. Kristen Bell, queen of rom-coms right now, in my opinion, and Adam Brody. It's a limited. Well, no, I think it's going to be a recurring series now on Netflix, but it's a rom-com. It was great. I really liked it. The Princess Bride, one of my all-time favorite movies. Knocked Up with Seth Rogen. Anything Apatow does is good. Chasing Amy, Kevin Smith movie.
Okay.
I think that's 5. Yeah, that's 5.
I think I've only seen, besides Star Wars, I've only seen one of those, and it's on my list.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And I put Bride of Chucky just being stupid, but
That's a horror movie. It's not a rom-com.
but it's a funny almost horror.
Every
because it's
movie has a
stupid.
love story in it. It has to be
Just about, yeah.
It has to be a rom-com. Yeah.
Well, I felt like the Chucky movies were kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean,
If it's not a comedy, you're right. It was,
Yeah.
it was a joke.
I know. I got you.
What are your 5?
So I have. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Judd Apatow films. My top 5 is either it's from like 2 groups of people that do movies. It's like
Okay.
from the same 2 families or whatever you want to call it. 40-Year-Old Virgin.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Big Daddy.
Okay.
51st Dates.
That's a good one.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Kristen Bell.
Yeah. And then Knocked Up.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a bad list. Send yours in if you guys want to get in on the rom-com email. We'll read them next week if you guys give us some good lists.
I had
MotoXpod@gmail.com.
I had Groundhog Day in there, but then I replaced it with 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah, 40-year-old version's better.
Yeah.
Virgin. I said virgin, I think. Anyway. All right, let's jump right into Barnett Clutch's Pick One. Barnett Dirt Digger Clutch kits have 75 years of experience behind every kit. Engineered for maximum performance, Dirt Digger Clutch kits feature friction materials formulated exclusively for Barnett. Get yours at barnettclutches.com and get 10% off with code VITALMX, all caps. You're going to burn your clutch up eventually. Go with the best, Barnett Clutches. All right, pick one. I think I sent you guys this. I'm not sure if I did or not. So the choices are you're a professional rider and you end your career on top with a championship and walk away, even though you got more to give, or you stick around and maybe, you know, like kind of like a Chad Reed where you're like, hey, I'm just going to keep racing. My results aren't quite as good, but I still love being out here. Which one do you go with?
You had me at I was going to be a professional rider.
Well, you're the same thing in both these options. You just choose to end differently.
You go ahead.
I don't think I'd want to walk away. I think it'd be too difficult just to walk away on top or not. If you're still capable to race and you love racing, you just keep racing, man. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of a gut punch when you go from winning all the time to I'm barely breaking in the top 5, but I think I keep racing. It
is kind of a very alpha move to kind of just mic drop and be like, yeah, I won, RV, RC. They went out like RC even kind of doubled down. Like he did those few races in the 07 and the Supercross and was almost like either in the point standing or leading and then still left.
Yeah.
That's
tough.
That's kind of like, mic drop kind of alpha move.
Yeah.
So that is kind of cool. But I think that if I did enjoy it and I was getting, I think if like our guy like RV, he's said that he wished he could go back and switch teams and kind of rejuvenate himself, his career and keep going. Ideally, I'd like to say that I would like to keep riding and just be involved with the sport. Although I would probably go with that one, but it's a pretty hard move to like win 4 titles in a row and then just dip.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. Give us your thoughts on these topics. Before we do the FXR picks for Pittsburgh, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of heads up on some topics that we didn't get to tonight that we're going to save for next week when TJ's in studio. One of them was, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. There's some video footage of Hayden Deegan's start blocks where his feet aren't even touching the ground. They're just up right at the pegs the whole time. we're going to discuss what we think about that, right? There's been a lot of discussion about starting devices, the greats, everything making start so much easier, taking the skill out of it. So I want to get thoughts specifically on things like the start blocks that are pretty drastically tall. So that's a topic we're going to get to. I was going to have you and I talk about the 250 East battle between RJ, Seth Hamaker, and Tom Vial. You know, who's in the driver's seat a little bit. Yes, Hamaker's in the points lead, but he's really never been in that position before. RJ won the title last year, has been there. Vial's a world champion. So who really has the best option? We'll give it another week after Pittsburgh when TJ's in, see where they're at, and we'll reconvene with that topic next week. But the reason I'm giving you a little bit of a heads up on those topics is so you can send us an email to motoxpodshow@gmail.com. Give us your thoughts, and during our discussion, we can, revert to some of your topics or your opinions on that. Fair? Like it?
That's fair.
Okay. FXR picks for Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. FXR is designed by racers for racers with industry-leading fit, finish, and performance. Progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible. Used by Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha team, Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, Benny Bloss, Jerry Robin, and many more. FXR's core motor roots, so visit FXRRacing.com or go to your local dealership to see the complete 25 line, including the Revo, Helium, everything else they have to offer. Don't forget, you can go to vitalmx.com and look at the auction up for Jerry Robin. You can go to Road to Recovery and also check out Justin Starling's Instagram for multiple ways of supporting Jerry and his medical bills and things that he's going to be dealing with in the near future. All right, I'm going to let you go first for your 450 picks, Pittsburgh.
What did I do last week? I did Sexton, AP, Cooper.
Sexton, AP, Cooper. By the way, we got a bunch of emails because we did have a contest. Nobody got anything right. So
I had the right three, though. Doesn't
matter. Still got it wrong.
What was yours?
Oh, I was off, too. I think I put J. Coop in mine. I went Cooper Webb, Chase Sexton, J. Coop. So I wasn't right in any form or fashion.
I got Chase right.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to do Sexton, AP, Webb.
Ooh. Yep. Okay. Well, I'm going Cooper Webb because he needs to win, and I think he's going to get it done. Sexton and J. Coop. So, yeah.
I mean, we're kind of down to where it's like...
Yep. We'll see.
As soon as, I feel like Mookie's going to sneak in there again, though, at some point. Pittsburgh might be a time for him to do it. It might be a little bit... You
better do it quick because Justin Cooper's got that win at Salt Lake locked.
That's a good question I didn't even think about. There's not really much to go off of more than just our opinion on this, but who do you feel, this is a new venue, new stadium. I don't think we've been there in these guys' career, at least. Pittsburgh. Who do you think that is the most capable or the best at going into a never before seen dirt or venue or anything like that?
Okay.
Why'd you look at it
because
like that?
I freaking hate. Oh, he's so good at that track. He's so good.
There's juju, man.
I guess there is, but it's like, who gives a shit? It's a different track. It's dirt.
The dirt is a thing for sure.
Yeah, dirt is a thing, but saying it like a new stadium, I don't believe is a thing. I'm sorry, I just don't.
So do you go with guys like are crowd favorites like AP?
I think the two best riders in the world right now in Supercross are Chase Sexton and Cooper Webb, and those two guys are going to be at the top because they're the best.
Okay, all right.
For the most part.
All right, Party Cooper.
So, yeah, well, okay. If I'm going to play your game.
Yeah.
Ken Roczen.
Okay, that's a good pick.
Ken Roczen.
That's a good pick.
Yep. If I'm going to play your game, Ken Roczen.
He does kind of always seem to have that come out firing kind of vibe to him.
Yep. So there you go.
All right, that's a good one. That's a good pick.
How about you?
I'm going to say, I would say probably Cooper Webb.
Yeah. But you took Chase Sexton to win.
Yeah. So obviously I'm just a dumbass.
Yeah. Who did you say was third?
Cooper.
Okay. Well, I wrote WP. I'm like, who the fuck is WP?
I don't know, man.
Because you said AP, so I must have taken Webb and
Plessinger.
All right. Yeah, I think that's it. I want to thank Mike Muye, Devin Simonson, and Pierce Brown, and I want to thank all of our contributors: Race Tech, Yamaha Motor USA, X Brand, Evans Coolant, Guts Racing, TBolt USA, Barnett Clutches, ETS Racing Fuels, FXR, and ProX, all being supportive of the show. Thanks for everybody.
I have one thing.
Thanks to let me finish up real quick. Thanks to our YouTube viewers, like and subscribe. Thanks to our listeners. What do you got?
I've been meaning to say this for 2 weeks and I have forgotten. I was very honored to be on the Outside Gate show with Aussie Steve. He's got a podcast. He's on YouTube, Outside Gate. It was very cool to be on the other side of doing interviews, and shout out to him and you guys that are listeners on this. Y'all go check out his show. He does a really cool thing where he does kind of in-depth interviews with people involved in the sport. He's got some good guys. Dark Side's been on there. Kiefer plus Daniel Blair have all done it with him, and he's a real cool guy. I really enjoyed that. It was cool being on the other side. So y'all go check it out.
Yeah, if you guys remember way back when I was doing the Pulp Mix wrap up show, Steve Hall, Aussie Steve, used to help me with timestamps and different things that I might like for audio or different things that I might need when I was cutting audio or looking for certain parts of the show. And he helped the guys that Nick and Trent that at Moto Limited and got involved. And he also sent me a ton of Australian vinyl from some rock bands.
Oh, cool!
Like, man, I'm just totally blanking. Oh, God dang it! Rose Tattoo, which is like in my opinion, better than AC/DC, but same era, same type of music. He just sent me a bunch of cool. He's just a really good dude. Loves the sport. So yeah, check his show out. Other than that, I think we're out. We're back next week.
Hot take, not hard to be better than AC/DC.